Using the same curly maple I used for my latest marking knife, I machined up a book match pair, each about 4mm thick, to make the scales of these TriSquares. I need the pieces to be completely dry before I stabilise them with resin, so I weigh them, put them in the oven for an hour, take them out, re-weigh them, put them back in the oven for another hour, take them out. If they've stopped losing weight, then they're ready to stabilise. Now heat activates this resin, so I have to let it cool down first, but once it's cooled down I put it in the pot I use in the vacuum chamber. I weigh the pieces down and then I pour the resin in to a good 30-40 ml above the pieces. Now when I was removing the moisture in the oven, drying them out, most pieces lost around half a gram in weight. They're only small pieces, so I'll be interested to see what they weigh afterwards. Put them in the vacuum chamber, set it off and left it going. Went through the usual process. Once it was done, removed the pieces and I put them in the oven for a couple of hours to cure the resin. And for the final weigh-in, they pretty much doubled their original weight. It surprised me. My aim is to end up with a matching set of marking tools. This is the knife that I made recently. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. And for it to match, obviously I needed to find a piece of brass the same size. Once I'd selected a piece of brass, I got it in the vise and gave it a clean, straight, flat edge to start from, and then started my marking out. I then drilled out the small hole for the inner central zeros. Then got to work cutting it out. Luckily brass is nice and soft, but my setup here really isn't stable enough. I need to do something about this. However, this vise does make things a lot easier, as you can see. Like I said, I'm making a set of marking tools here, all of them matching. So why don't you let me know what you think I should make next? Leave me a comment and we'll go from there. Now all of this brass that I had here was pretty pitted and tarnished. It's been out in the open for quite a long time. Not overly bothered because I'm actually going to use these. Actually, you know, they're not sitting here as being showpieces. They're actually going to be used, so they're always going to get a bit marked anyway. But here I just take some time and go finer and finer and get it to a state that I'm happy with. I was at the point now I was ready to glue up, but I know that I get quite messy when I glue up, so I've taped up the brass to try not to ruin all the work I've just done. And as I learned with the knife, 5-minute epoxy doesn't work very well with the brass and the wood, so I found that the cyanoacrylate works really well, so I used it again. I made up some brass pins for the scales, and I then pinned them over, although I don't know where the footage went for that, but I did do it. And now it's just a case of sanding the scales back. And as I learnt with the knife, it's not as dark on the inside as it is on the outside, so I just applied another quick layer of the stain. And remembered I hadn't chamfered the edges, so did that quickly. And gave them another little bit of stain over that. Now to make these match exactly, all I need to do is lightly sand now, just to take back any of that excess stain that I've got on the brass, and just lighten up the surface. And then over to the laser, get some branding on these. So I'll just finish off by putting a coat of wax on there. It's just something I can top up as and when it's needed then. It's quick, it's easy, I like it. And as you'll see here, I'll be making a smaller one too. And then it's down to the important part. Are they square? And now there's two faces that have to be checked here, the outer and the inner. So I check each one, making sure the lines are parallel. As you can see, this is easily done with a straight edge of wood. And thankfully, they both turned out really nice and square. Really pleased with how these turned out. Like I said, I'm just learning with metal. I hope to improve my skills with this as I go along. The brass does have some marking still on there, but like I said, I'm really not that bothered. I'm going to be using these, so they're going to get marked. And they match the knife really nicely. Really pleased. Let me know what you think I should make next in the comments. Like I said, this is going to be a set of tools. Subscription will always be appreciated. And when you give us a like. See you next time.